Hello, I'm Rabbi Elton from the Great Synagogue in Sydney, and our personality today is Eliezer Ben-Yehuda, born in 1858 and died in 1922. Eliezer Ben-Yehuda, born as Eliezer Perlman, is the father of the modern Hebrew language of Ivrit. He made the greatest contribution to the revival of the Hebrew language as a modern spoken tongue as opposed to an ancient and, for conversational purposes, a dead language. He was born in Belarus in 1858, and he was destined for a rabbinical or scholarly career. He went to the traditional cheder and then yeshiva, but as was common in the yeshivot of those days, there were also undercurrents of the Enlightenment, of the Haskalah, the Jewish Enlightenment, and he decided to abandon a strictly observant lifestyle and a wholly Jewish education and to broaden his perspectives. He went to different parts of Europe in order to undertake a higher academic study, and he found himself at the Sorbonne in Paris in 1877. And there he had an extraordinary meeting. He met a Jew from Jerusalem and he had a conversation with them in Hebrew. And he became convinced that it was possible to revive the Hebrew language as a contemporary spoken language. By this point he was a Zionist, but whereas some Zionists believed that the language of the Jewish state need not be Hebrew, in fact they favoured German for the most part, he believed that Zionism, a Jewish state in the ancient homeland of the Jewish people, had to go hand in hand with the recreation of Hebrew as the language of the state, of its official functions, and also of the street. He went to live in Palestine itself in 1881, and there he faced tremendous opposition, both from secular Zionists and from Orthodox Jews. He was opposed by Herzl himself, the founder of modern political Zionism, who himself was somebody who supported German as the language of the Jewish state, who was a great admirer of German civilization, who sought the support of the Kaiser for the Zionist enterprise. But he also faced tremendous opposition from the Orthodox section, who felt that turning Hebrew into a modern spoken language was a form of desecration, and that it should be used for prayer and for study, and not to be used in a mundane or even profane context. In fact, there's a legend that no one would sell him kosher meat, and he was still eating kosher meat, even though he was somewhat more secular than he was when he was a youth, and so his next-door neighbour, who happened to be trained as a shochet, would slaughter meat just on behalf of Eliezer Ben-Yehuda. He compiled the first dictionary. He died quite young, so it was finished by his wife, his second wife, and he raised his son, Ben Zion, as a Hebrew speaker only. And again, many people objected to this and said, you're going to make the boy, in social terms, entirely disabled. He was able to speak any of the languages of the people. So Ben Zion became the first native-born Hebrew speaker in several millennia. Now, one job he had in his hands was to coin new words, because, of course, the dictionary of biblical and rabbinic Hebrew didn't contain words for motor car or refrigerator or any of the modern inventions, and so he set about trying to create new words based on scientific principles, on their ancient Hebrew, Aramaic or Arabic roots. Some of these caught on and some have not, but he wanted to make the language both relevant and also deeply rooted in its origins. Nowadays, when anyone has a conversation in modern Hebrew, the way the entire state of Israel is run and lives and operates, that is the lasting legacy and enduring contribution of Eliezer Ben-Yehuda. Thank you for joining.